Hi everyone, Thrift Store Dave here. Today going on an estate sale outing with my sidekick, and we are going to be going to the last hour and a half of an estate sale. My hope is that there's going to be some deep discounts and we'll get some really good values. So come along with us. Here we are. Looks like it's a multi-level dwelling, so lots to explore.
Okay.
Some hats and hat protectors. Some old suits. Uh-oh, some ties. Okay, so we just wrapped up. We were asked not to film inside, so I couldn't do as many candidates as I'd hope. But we had some great bargains from this group. I'm gonna include their name in my captions for the video. And yeah, $60, all this stuff. Let's see what we're able to get, okay? Okay, so I'm back in the man cave. Brief recap of what happened when inside. A couple very interesting things. First of all, there was the please don't film because we don't want the owner to get upset. So sorry for a little bit less of the picking process to observe. But also really interesting was I ran into a fellow picker there who got to meet and talk with, and then I shared information about my channel, which I try to lightly promote when I'm out picking, and his eyes lit up. He's like, oh my God, I've watched your videos. And so this is the first case of me actually finding a person in the wild who's watched any of my YouTube videos, but who's met me while picking. So I thought that was kind of cool and kind of a fun moment just in my process. So as far as the negotiating at the end, I realized I hadn't brought my wallet, but that worked to my advantage because I always have cash in my pocket, and I had $60 and I told him that's all I've got. And so he took away the heavy metal mid-century lamp that he valued at over $100, but did still give me a whole bunch of deals. What worked in my favor was having a giant bag that I had filled with lots of items already. And so he didn't even count how many hats that I had, how many ties, how many shirts. He focused on coats and a couple other pieces that I'll show you. And the thing is, all those little things do add up in value. So without further ado, I thought this was a vintage shirt from the 50s or 60s. Turns out it's actually a brand called American Boulevard that likes to pride itself on items from different eras. So while it might not be original vintage, it's repop, but it's a brand repop that I still think has more value. I valued the shirts that I bought at $1 to $2 a piece, so I can make at least 15 to 20 a piece. So I also got three different, let's see, where's the tops of these? Nike golf shirts, and they were in good shape. So these are nylon, I think they're nylon. They're breathable, and they're dry fit rather. And so I figure these, if sold together as a lot to someone, will probably fetch a good penny, and I can get out from under them all in one effort. So excited about that. You know, I like to buy ties and sell them. I didn't get any special brands per se. I did get a whole bunch of sock ties, and the wool sock ties still have their own collectability, and I figure I can sell them as a lot. And there was one Donald Trump collection tie that I found, and those usually go for $20+. So if I factor in a price purchase of $1 a piece for these, I'm going to do very well on them also. Steering to coats, I'm going to just lean to my right here real quick, and did pretty well. I got a Calvin Klein jeans windbreaker, and you can see on the back it's emblazoned with Calvin Klein. It's not vintage, but it is in very good shape. Zippers work, and so I figure it's at least a $20 bill. After that, I've got what looks to be an older Nautica Challenge coat, and this one's a little bit thicker. It's got a nice fleece lining. It has the hood, and yeah, I think this is in great shape. I just have to put a lint roller over it, and this is probably a $30 to $40 coat. It smells a little musty. This could have been in a smoking home, so I'm gonna have to disclose that when I sell it. But I'm also gonna mention that it doesn't reek. And then on top of that, also grabbed a Minnesota Vikings Puma coat, and you can see there's a purple exterior. But what's also interesting is it's reversible. So I feel like that's gonna add some sort of value to it. and we'll see what I can get for that. I'm hoping at least 20 bucks a piece for those, but maybe more. And then on top of that, I was digging through that closet, and I found what I believe is a vintage Banana Republic shirt. Okay, so it's got a tag here that looks a lot older than the typical Banana Republic tags that I've seen. So there are numerous websites where you can actually look and see what era a shirt ranges from just by simply checking tags. So I would Google that and then look on a future video to see how I did for that. Thank you guys so much so far for watching. Please like the video if you have so far. Subscribe if you haven't yet. You're falling behind the 1,500 who have. I'll show you a few other things I got. Filling up the bag was hats. Kangol hats I've made comments on before. Aren't super valuable, but what I think I'm going to do with these, because my price point was low, is sell them as a pair and see if someone wants to just have an instant set of Kangol hats, and then I can get rid of them. And the brown one has a special name on it. It says Karamak, so I'm hoping that makes it stand out to someone who does like Kangol hats. Also got an interesting tweed hat, and this one is Irish tweed by Jonathan Richard, and so it's made in Ireland, and I'm hopeful that that is gonna make it more valuable to someone. So again, 6 hats. If I factored it in just paying $2 a piece for them, I'm gonna make lots more than that. A Lake of the Isles hat, these tend to go also quite easily. Just gonna need to run a lint roller over it. This one I took a chance on. I figured I'd be buying in bulk. It's an interesting hat. It's got straw nature to it. It's got a regular bill, and the brand is, again, Lake of the Isles. So my hope is that, again, someone will find this interesting. It's breathable, and I can make a buck on that. And then this other one was a reversible old Banana Republic hat. So it'd be blue on one side and yellow on the other. So I'm hopeful that that also might get someone's interest, but we'll see. Winding down, I got a few more items. We've got an interesting copper mug. It says Father Mike on it, and there's a signature underneath. You can see here. And if I read it carefully, it says, I think it's Glenn Croft. So I'm going to do some homework on that. I don't know a whole lot about copper and pottery, but this was a low price, low risk opportunity to learn. My son picked up a couple things, one of which was neat. I told him not to put it down. And it's a very, very old frame with a very old picture inside. Now the picture is mostly faded. The frame itself, though, I think is really a cool piece. And so my hope is that if I can figure out what the signature is on the back, has some sort of value. A couple more things. I always go through kitchens because sometimes there's mugs that are popular or mugs that I'll want. I've every so often come across magnets on refrigerators that can be valuable if they're 40 to 50 years old. So something that a lot of people would overlook, you might want to keep an eye out for. And then this is an enameled cast iron pan made by Duscoware in Belgium. And so did a quick Google lens on this, and these are going for 25 bucks a piece. So I figured if I had about 5 in it, I could sell this pretty easily. And then the last piece was something my son found. It was a toy that was disassembled, and he actually took all of the pieces and put it back together. You can hear it. Clearly it's going to need some care, some glue, but it's a very cool piece. It probably is like circa 30s to 40s, and we've got all the pieces here and the working music box on the inside of it, as you can hear. So I'm going to do my best to try to patch this up together and sell it with the buyer knowing full well that it's beat up, but hopefully if we can Google Lens this, figure out what exactly it is. But for it, it's an, oh, here we go. This helps. It says UNESCO, and unfortunately it just says 1980 on it. So this might actually be a bust, but we'll see. If somebody still thinks something like this is cool, then great. And if not, it was a learning experience for my son for $0 cost, since I just paid 60 bucks for the whole bundle. So that's everything. We've got the 6 hats, the 4 shirts, the 3 coats, the Banana Republic shirt, which might be quite valuable, a buttload of ties, and a couple other interesting smalls, all for $60. I'm hoping that I'm going to get $250 to maybe $300 if I'm lucky on everything. And we literally just spent 30 minutes on a Sunday. So it was kind of a fun outing with my son. He's getting a taste for what's out there that's interesting to search for. And I hope you guys as viewers are doing the same, getting out there, having fun picking, maybe flipping if you flip like I do. But thanks as always for tuning in. Please, again, don't forget to like the video. And if you have a friend who you think might like this also, please share it with them. I'll see you guys next week. I'm Thrift Store Dave.